1, 2, 3, go.
It's already been recording, so.
No. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Bree Sloan, and Lance tasked me with the project of coming up with ways that we can save humanity. Obviously, this crisis has been hell on all of us. I've recently been laid off from my job, and I want to acknowledge that even though that is the case, I've been privileged enough to take the time to reflect on my life, where I want to go with it, and also reflect on humanity and stuff. And so I did want to mention that I do realize that a lot of people do not have the time to do that. Maybe they're, on the front lines working as a nurse, Amazon fulfillment center folks, USPS folks, all of the above, truck drivers. That being said, I want to make sure that one of the main ways that we can focus on becoming better as a society is having empathy toward each other's lived experiences. So my lived experience is not going to be the same as my next door neighbors and my parents and my grandparents. We all come from different backgrounds. So I want to make sure that we are all taking the time to be empathetic toward each other.
We're all interconnected, so it's
Yeah.
helpful to understand that we're from other places, but to be able to come together and work together as a team.
Yep. That's a good point. Interconnectivity is really important to understand through all of this and the ripple effects that it has on society. So something that you're doing that you think is small and doesn't affect a bunch of people could be affecting people on a large scale. And so that segues me into a lot of what I want to talk about today about supporting small and local and voting with your dollar. Redistribute the wealth back into your own local economy and to create dreams for people who wouldn't have had that same opportunity in the first place. So by supporting your local wine shop over Total Wine and Beer, you're basically allowing someone to fulfill their dream. One of the other ways I want to talk about saving humanity and just becoming more whole people in general is the idea of living a little bit more minimalistically. So really think about ways you can get creative with this. And when you start doing it, it feels addictive. Also because you're saving money in the process. So think about ways to get creative. I myself am an artist, but know that you don't need to be an artist to repurpose things around your house. Sometimes a lot of things just need a coat of paint.
I think a lot of that stems from we're a consumeristic society that rewards materialism. And there's a implicit reward of when I buy something new, it's just yes, this makes me feel better about myself. When in reality, doing something that you have to work for that you then accomplish is much more gratifying than going out and putting money down to get something. Instead, it's I did this is mine. I built this bookshelf over there. It's crap, but I love it. And I did all this extra stuff to my meditation station. It doesn't look great, but I love it. And I put the time and effort into it with the material that I had, and created something that I love it. It makes me feel good about myself. I love being surrounded by something that I created.
You're not putting that trash back into the landfill. So we're not wasting, we're reducing, we're reusing, we're recycling stuff. So that's something that I do want to mention.
Thrift shops too. Thrift shops are amazing too.
Yes,
A good thrift shop find is magical. And it's also I don't know, I call it thrift shop hopping. It's like bar hopping, but you spend the afternoon just going to different thrift shops with, it could be a date, or even I've gone thrift shop hopping with my grandma and we had a ball.
Getting your clothes from thrift shops as well. You can find a lot of really good stuff. And again, like you said, Lance, having a date, taking your significant other out thrift shopping, it's a fun thing.
It's like an adventure.
Yeah.
And
you find stuff in the process.
Yeah.
So, if you've got a white elephant party to go to around the holidays, go find the most hideous thing you can find at the thrift store and toss
Actually, that's what I do for those. I always get people's old games like Operation and give those to people, and people always love it too. It's just that was $2.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, there's a fair amount of people who think that they can just throw away their stuff or that they have to throw away their stuff. You don't. You can take it to Goodwill. You can take it to ARC. They'll take most of your things.
Hmm.
They're not picky. Reusable bags. They're really
Yeah.
important.
You're the third person that's mentioned reusable bags, so maybe that is how we save the world. It's just everybody uses reusable bags.
A lot of places that you shop, specifically Sprouts, will give you money back if you use your reusable bag. So I think it's like 5 cents a bag. I use a meal app where I pick all of my meals for the week. It gives me a list of exactly what I need, and then at the end of the week, I have no food waste. I grocery shop weekly, and every time I go grocery shopping, there's a checklist. Do I have my bags? Do I have my grocery list? It also keeps me very like undistracted while I'm there. So
That's a really good idea. Because whenever I go, I just like walk aisles and I'm just like, I'll take that. And then some things go to waste. And
yeah, you're
I
left
forget
with
the
a bunch of
percentage, but the US like wastes like 2/3 of the food that it produces or something like that. Like I think it was over 50%. When I heard it, I was like, really? That's insane. But like I wouldn't also deny that. Like that's probably a thing. We have people starving, but we're tossing food because we
That's
just
another thing we're going to have to get super serious about.
mhm,
I specifically have witnessed it by working in a massive venue.
mhm.
A lot of food gets wasted at the end of the night, and you can't give that food to a food bank because it's not it's not safe
Mhm.
under OSHA's terms. I guess to wrap up is we've got to make sure that we are becoming the healthy bacteria of the earth and not the virus. So that to wrap up means being a little bit more minimalistic. Use what you need and don't use more than what you need. Support small and local and vote with your dollar to make sure that all of that wealth gets redistributed back into your local economy. It'll affect you in a great way, I promise. We're all interconnected, so please try to understand each other, understand where each of us comes from, understand the other person's background, especially if it doesn't match yours. You can learn something new. We got to learn to live symbiotically with each other because we're all here. And I think one thing Lance mentioned earlier in our conversation is that the world will fix herself. The earth will
Yeah.
fix herself, whether we're
Yeah,
on it
this
or not.
this
Life
save the world thing, it's really save humanity because the world
is
was
humanity.
here before we were here and it'll be fine just after it purges
It will
itself of
heal
us.
itself.
So this is, yeah, save humanity. The planet will be fine. It'll be around for a while.
So, do you want to be a part of this earth or do you want to be killed off by it?
Live above our means, party hard all the way until our extinction. Yeah, let's do that.
Nope, that's not the right mentality.
That's not the right answer. Oh.
What kind of world are you leaving for your kids? You want to make sure you're leaving a good world to the next generation because it is not their job to clean it up.
Like with this project, I just wanted to try to emphasize for people to make small changes that lead to big changes. And a lot of people don't think that small changes can help reverse like such a monumental thing of climate change. And it's also such an abstract idea that seems so far in the future. And it's like, no, it's not. Like we need to start acting right now and taking these things seriously. And this is also not a project of just saving the climate. It's saving humanity. We need to change the way that we interact with each other.
Yeah, and I think it's important that people understand that small changes can really have a ripple effect.
Mhm.
Above all, just be kind to each other, knock off the judgment. Everybody handles these things differently, and everybody's experiencing this differently. It's important that we recognize that the earth has created this environment for itself, and we're just guests on it. So notice the pretty things, notice the birds, the blue skies, the curious kids playing with their parents. Notice the plants growing. It's spring, it's
Mhm.
gorgeous. And all of these things can make you appreciate the world that we live on, and it can appreciate the need to save it. These things aren't going to stop unless we make a massive change in our lives.
Yeah.
And we're extremely lucky to be born on this planet. Like it's literally a result of a cosmic miracle that we are here.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's pretty
That
sweet.
worked out well for us. Well, I appreciate how mindful you are of both your privileges and the outlook on being mindful about how stopping and smelling the roses, or have you ever seen the rain type of thing. But at the same time, you have a lot of good things to share. So I thank you for sharing some insights and contributing to this dialogue of the small changes that we can do that can start a ripple effect that can help the world. If a small ripple effect of a virus affected the world this much, like, we can combat that
Oh,
with, I
quickly.
mean, science, but we can also change the way that we treat each other and create a more positive trajectory coming out of this, I think.
Yeah.
But
All right.
yeah, thank you. And can I get a shot of your dog, please?
Yes, you may.
No. Lazy boy. So lazy.